Afternoon in northern Johannesburg. Our reporter Nozintombi Miya is there. And Nozintombi, earlier you were saying that the army, members of the army were on the ground. They were protecting you, trying to protect a mall nearby. How are they doing?
Thank you so much, Francis. So what's just happening right now as we're speaking is that a fresh deploy or a fresh unit that's going to be replacing the army personnel that has been here throughout the course of the day from about this afternoon has just arrived. So you're going to be seeing quite a bit of movement. You can sort of see the outline behind me. There's a big army truck that's just arrived with a smaller one, and we've seen more of the private security companies patrolling. Just in front of me, I see a JMPD van, and my understanding is that the South African police force members that were deployed to the site have gone to a section called the Chris Hani section, or by the mall called the Chris Hani Mall, because it's understood that there is some looting that was taking place there a bit earlier. But, Francis, what's been so interesting is that, since our last crossing, and as it's gotten darker and darker, you can sort of see on the fringes, where the light sort of dims, that you start seeing silhouettes of bodies. And some of the taxi drivers that drove past us a short while ago were telling us that they were seeing people gathering in groups just beyond this particular perimeter. And they're basically just waiting for any opportunity to come back and ransack what is left of this complex here, as well as the Pan-African Mall. And, what's even more sad is that it's the communities here that are going to be the most affected, because for them to get into the CBD or to get to the nearest area, for them to be able to get basic necessities like bread, milk, just the most basic necessities that they need, it's going to be very difficult for them to do that. So, with this patrolling of the army and the change of shift or change of units of the army, as well as the JMPD, as well as the private security guard, it's hoped that they'll start pushing back against some of the looters, or some of the protesters, or people that are just gathering on the outskirts. And it's quite chilling, really, Francis, just to sort of see just beyond your eyesight. You can just see shadows of people moving in the dim light as they walk across the light. And it's such it just sort of tells you that, if the army isn't here, or if the army moves, it really is going to be it's going to be pandemonium once again. So the army has to make sure that they guard these centers that have already been ransacked and already looted. They need to guard them to ensure that no further looting happens. Francis.
Yeah, and Nozintombi, like you were saying earlier, this is a densely populated area, a lot of informal dwellings, so not huge lighting everywhere, and under the cover of darkness, like you say, things can happen just a few meters from where you are. The police minister was there. I guess that can help the morale of the authorities on the ground, do you think, but not necessarily sway any of the looters there?
Definitely, Francis. It certainly helped to boost the morale. Just sort of hearing snippets of conversation, informal conversation with some of the police forces here, you can sort of sense that when they got here, they were kind of demoralized by the police themselves, who are running away from the situation. And obviously the police are running away because they feel like they don't have sufficient capacity. But the problem then is if the police run away from an environment like that, or stand at a distance instead of enforcing law and order, it then creates the impression that the police are not up to the task, or are incapable of enforcing proper law and order or public order policing, in ensuring that they keep the safety of the residents and stop the protesters from doing the looting. But having the police minister here doing a walkabout, at the Pan-African Mall and here at different places, it's definitely boosted the morale. As I said, we are seeing with this change of army units, we're seeing that the unit that's coming is more bolstered. It's really ready to ensure that they protect, they serve, and they help the police in making sure that they're sufficiently protected. And it certainly is dark here. It's Francis, and it goes again to the issue of the infrastructure being destroyed and the lights have been going off. So there's only 1 or 2 lights that are working. So they're working under the cover of night in an extremely difficult terrain that they don't necessarily know. So they'll definitely be out to ensure that they maintain law and order and are extremely vigilant and try and push back the protesters that are starting to circle around these particularly key areas, these more key areas where they would be looking to continue with more of their looting. Francis.
All right, thank you, and we wish them well. Thank you very much, our reporter Nozintombi Miya in Alexandra Township in Johannesburg. Now,